Yo, what's going on, guys? Jared here. Today I'm going to be talking about Yubel. So I actually played Yubel today at locals, and as you probably see from the thumbnail and the title, I did not enjoy it that much. I really didn't. Sadly, the Yubel deck and strategy, as good as the new cards are, and as much as I really do like them, in a competitive stance, and I mean a full competitive stance, the actual cards themselves still suffer a lot of the problems as the old ones used to have, which is just you just draw them and they're just not good to have. And it's really killed my enthusiasm for the deck. And this is a problem where not even the new card of coming out in the future, which should be in Battles of Legend, I believe it's called Phantom of Yubel. I don't think that's going to solve this problem that I'm having of just like, if you're playing, I was already comboing anyway and it was broken anyway, and I don't need a more broken combo. I need like something else that makes it more consistent or can debrick me or something like that. But yeah, so that's just my personal issue and experience with the deck. When it worked, it was awesome. When I was comboing, when I actually drew really well, it was great. But the problem is I'm drawing cards that are like, I'm pretty sure are deemed like uncuttable, and you just can't do anything about it. So overall, let me know what you guys think down below. I'm really curious. I'm going to show you guys what I played, and you guys can tell me how you guys feel about it and how you guys play it, and if you have any suggestions of how to fix it. But for now, let's just go ahead and jump into the deck profile, and please subscribe if you enjoy. Okay, guys, so like I said, I played Yubel, and to start off, of course, we play Yubel. We only played one of the original, though. I don't think you need two. All my combos I was doing was fine with one. I know that there is fear of Bestials and this getting banished, but yeah, I'm just chose to be crazy, I suppose. And I played one copy of Terra Incarnate. I don't think you need more than these. Again, these are bricks. I don't want to draw these, so I don't want to play more of them. And I drew them a lot. Terra Incarnate, I think, was in more hands than like any other card in my deck. It was ridiculous. Moving on, 3 copies of Spirit of Yubel. Whoa, there we go. 3 copies of Spirit of Yubel. Yeah, this card's great. Like, it's great, but again, like, it doesn't do anything if you draw it. It's just like bleh. It doesn't actually accomplish anything unless you already have Nightmare Pain or something, or the Spirit Gates going. So like, if your hand is already kind of meh, it doesn't do anything on its own. It's so annoying. For cards that do stuff, 3 copies of Samsara the Lotus. This card's great. This is a great starter, but everyone knows it's the choke point, and sometimes you get punished and you can't do anything about it. But yeah, this card's great. I love the revive effect as well. Like, both effects of this card are amazing. And 3 copies of Gravesquirmer. And this card's obviously crazy. Like, this is another card that's just, it's 2 bodies and it's an extender, and it's ridiculous how strong this card is. But I feel like this card's just stronger in another pile. It doesn't even have to be this pile. Like, there's just another Fiend deck that you can play, and that can take advantage of Gravesquirmer equally just as good as this deck can. Of course, like, yeah, you're not going to bring back Spirit of Yubel, but you can bring back any other 0/0 Fiend monster, and there are plenty of them now where you don't have to force yourself into Yubel specifically. Something like Unchained, right? The Unchained Fiend pile is, as we right here, is like, you could just play more Unchained cards, and those cards are so much better to draw, and you play so much less bricks, and everything is more fluent because Yama puts it all together. And instead, in this deck, these cards are awkward to draw, and you don't want to draw them. So these cards are like also pseudo bricks because they don't do anything. So that is like, that's like my like little tangent about like the bricks. At least there's so many in this deck, and it drives me nuts. And I granted, I could have just had bad luck, but like, it was really bad today. And then for other Fiend support, 3 Dark Beckoning Beast and 2 Opening of the Spirit Gates. Even these today, like, I love these cards, and I just felt drew so poorly. I had a game where I opened up double Opening of the Spirit Gates and Dark Beckoning Beast, and that doesn't do anything. It just loses immediately. It's so frustrating. Oh my god, I was going crazy. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's meh. 3 copies of Nightmare Pain, 3 copies of Nightmare Throne, and Terraforming. One of my biggest beefs with this deck, in all honesty, is that Nightmare Throne cannot be searched by Nightmare Pain. Even if this was allowed, I would be okay with it. It would not be like, it would not break the deck. It just would help the consistency issues that I have. Because at least if you start awkwardly with Nightmare Pain, it can still get you somewhere if you can get to Nightmare Throne. But you can't even do that, so you're just like randomly locked out for some reason. I don't know why this card does not mention Yubel. It should just mention it. It's ridiculous that it doesn't, and it's unfortunate that it doesn't, because I think it would really help the strategy so much. And then, yeah, just drives me crazy. And then, of course, we have 1 copy of 1 for 1. And of course, I'm complaining about consistency. So because I was already like worried about consistency, and I still have having problems with consistency, I did play 3 Prana Prosperity, but like it didn't even help me because I just was still bricking anyway. Granted, the games where I did really well and like I played very well, I drew this card and it helped me a lot. So this card was great in here. I loved it. But like overall, like when I don't draw this card, like the hand just felt so like subpar and awkward. I did choose to play like more board breakers than hand traps in this build. I think it just kind of worked out better that way. So I ended up playing 3 copies of Super Poly, 3 copies of Droplet. Yeah, for like board breaking cards. I don't know, they were like fine. I'm not like crazy about them. They didn't really prove themselves today. It was just kind of like whatever. I'm not like the biggest fan of Super Poly. Like it came up like one time and it wasn't even that good. So I don't know. I think Super Poly just feels like kind of neg. I feel like you don't have a lot of cards that you want to like mess around with. The only time you have like free discards for Super Poly is if you have Spirit Gates with a level 10 and you discard like an extra continuous. That's the only time it feels free. Other than that, like you feel like you want to hold everything in your hand rather than like ditch it unless it's like a complete break like Yubel or Terran Incarnate or something. But yeah. And then to insulate the the Lotus, I played 1 copy of Call by the Grave. This was fine. It like stopped an Ash one time, so I don't know. It's as good as it can be. It's Call by the Grave. And then speaking of hand traps, I only played 6 in this build, which was 3 copies of Ash and 3 copies of Imperm. I just feel like that these were the strongest ones for this at least. I'm not, again, I don't know. You could just play more board breakers or you could play more hand traps. That's completely up to you. Again, this deck just drew very, very poorly for me today, so I'm not even like sure how I would fix it because I feel like the issues, like I can only draw like this trap card and this Yubel and this Yubel and like multiple copies of these without this so many times without going insane. So I am just telling you my experience. I know this is not everyone's experience. There are people who greatly enjoy this deck and draw very well with it. This just did not feel like a good showing for the deck for myself. It did not feel like it was performing as well as I wanted it to. So overall, that is it for the main deck. And going to the extra deck, I played the 3 Super Poly targets, of course, which was Yubel, Loving the Fender, Mud Dragon of the Swamp, and Garura. I feel like that's all you need. You don't need more of this for Super Poly. You can play 2 of this, but it's just not really necessary. For the Exceeds, I played 1 of the rank 10 Varudas and number 65. This card was okay. I made each of these multiple times, so I think they warrant their existence here. The Gem Buster just helps play through Nibiru is the main purpose of it, and Varudas is just a broken card. I think this card's ridiculous. I really, really like this card. Every time I summon it, I feel like I just won. So yeah, this card's really, really good. And of course, you're playing the Unchained, so I am playing an Unchained packaged. The one thing I will say is I'm not playing the Rank 3. I'm only playing the both of the 2s and the 4. The Rank 3 I actually just didn't have on hand, so I couldn't play it. But I also did not miss it. I'd never missed it today. It was just meh. I don't know. I've been testing this deck online a lot, and like me not having it in real life didn't really affect the gameplay at all. There was never a time where I'm like, oh, I really need like that card. So yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I liked it this way. It was okay. But yeah, if you have it, try it out. Let me know if you play it. But I think it's Anguish is the name. So yeah. I played 2 Link 1s that both came up today, so I was happy I had both, which was Amirage and Anima. You need Amirage to be able to link off Dark Beckoning Beast to get your Spirit Gates alive immediately to discard and special summon back. And you need Anima in case you need to, one, bait something, but you can also use this to get level 1s in the graveyard, something like Wave Squirmer, if you specialed it so that you can trigger its graveyard effect immediately, which can be pretty cool. And then we also played 1 Little Knight, of course. That's just an easy one. 1 Muckraker from the Underworld because it's a Fiend monster and it brings back Fiend monster. It's literally monster born for Fiend monster. So again, it's like just like one of the best generic Fiend Link monsters that we have. And then I also played 1 Nightmare Griffin. There's a couple lines that go into this, and I think this card's pretty oppressive if you play against certain decks that don't have an out to this. Like if you puts them on like have Droplet, have Imperm, like stuff like that. So I think this is like a solid option for the deck when you're doing your Fiend link ups. You can go into this, which is also a Fiend, of course, and you can use its effect to bring back any spell or trap, which is also really strong. And then the last 2 cards I played was Doolittle Chimera and the Promethean Princess. I think this package is really strong. I like it a lot. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just really strong. The fact that you can go into this line, have Princess in Graveyard on top of everything else in your board while playing around Super Poly, it just feels really good. That combo is a little weird, but I like it a lot. It's just very strong. So yeah. Overall, that is it for the deck. Again, this is just my one showing of 4 rounds, and again, I just drew so unfortunate a lot of the time. And I really don't want this to be like how it ends up, but I feel like the way that I was drawing and the way that this deck, I can't see it doing well in like a high number of rounds with all the bricks that are in the main deck. And that's the part that really, really drives it home for me, when I could just be playing like an Unchained deck where you have a bunch of cards where you do want to draw, and you get to cut the cards you don't want to draw, like the Terror Incarnate and the Yubel, and you get to play like 3 Squirmer, you get to play 3 Nightmare Throne and stuff like that. So yeah, you get the best of both worlds with it. So overall, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know how you would play this deck down below. I'm really curious. There's a lot of other options that you can play. And yeah, please subscribe if you enjoy. So I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.